Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Shiba Inu, seeing what's going on. I got a lot of requests for my most recent upload. Asked them for me to follow up on this, kind of see where we're at. And what's really cool, unfortunately, well, not cool because we slept through it, at least myself. I was sleeping in the wee hours here just before we got that little pump there when I had an alert basically letting me know to kind of reevaluate and see if we should get in. Hindsight's 2020, of course, but it does look like we should have bought that dip right around 9,000 there off that key Fibonacci retracement level. So we'll talk about that and much more. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I'd love to teach people to trade. Truly hope you can learn something here today. If you can, help us like, follow, subscribe on YouTube. Also, same thing here with cash trading on our Twitter. We're just trying to get this up and running. We just started last month. But all in all, pretty good stuff here. We got some awesome, like take profit targets here for Litecoin, nice little 9% scalp in 9 hours. We've also got with our premium here, we just triggered an OMG swing trade for 5 days, 22%. And if we scroll back just a little bit, we can see we got 29% from Bake, and then of course an 84% in only 8 hours from API 3. That was a really, really good grab. So again, thanks again to our community members for the positive feedback. Happy to hear this working out well for you, and those auto trades are beneficial. That being said, with Shiba Inu, what we want to look at is a couple of things here. First of all, when I reviewed this recently, I mentioned that there should be a bounce off 0.382 Fibonacci retracement. This is not a video about how right I was. It's never an exact science. I'm wrong a lot, okay? But I would say that I'm right more often than not. And typically levels like this, 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618 are key retracement levels that tend to have a tendency of kind of gravitating towards those levels, okay? Consolidation, etc., liquidity, the whole 9 yards. So if we take a look here, of course, at the previous resistance level, that was a strong resistance level. And now that we broke through that here recently, like I mentioned before, it'll probably likely treat itself as a support. What do you know? The price comes down to bounce off that level. It wasn't exact. It worked down to 8,700, but roughly 9,000 is the key level there that we need to, I wouldn't say focus on, but more so understand that that's probably going to be a key level support moving forward. Okay. Again, it looks like it's held there fairly well. So that being said, let's take a quick look at a couple of things. So MACD is still converging on the 1 day. That doesn't necessarily say too much right now because it's still in progress, right? Not like a foretelling sign that we're going to see a breakout. But if we do take a look here at some of this stuff here, we can see RSI is cranking still above 50 but below 70. We also can see money flow index is high, implying that we have money flowing into this coin. Stochastic is diverging here at this point, but it's slowing itself down. Not really the most telling indicator right now. What we do want to look at, of course, is a few other things. In other words, let's take a quick look at the 4-hour time frame, because this is where things get kind of interesting. And just to quickly note, Bitcoin's up almost 2% on the day, right? So this pump here does have a little bit to do with this, okay? So again, Bitcoin's maintaining itself. I do think Shiba Inu would have had a good chance to bounce and do well for itself on its own, but it probably wouldn't be as impactful if Bitcoin wasn't recovering as quickly. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Is why it's important you watch and understand what Bitcoin behavior is doing. I cover it every single day. If you're curious, make sure you enable notifications so you can kind of be up to date on those. But it's really cool. It's cool to be able to see Bitcoin doing what we've wanted it to do for some time, kind of breaking through that lower level and likely being back on track. Now, it's a little premature, but most likely we've broken that descending trend, which is positive for Shiba Inu and a lot of altcoins too. I mean, as you can see, we got some green in the market for a change. Again, we took that nice profit here for our OMG trade, which is nice. That being said, we're going to take a look here on the 4-hour. When we look at the 4-hour, we can see a bounce off 50 in the RSI. It wasn't a definitive bounce. It kind of came below and almost stayed below, but it broke through pretty strong here with that extra volume. We can see a MACD convergence on the horizon here too. And typically when you see the convergence, which we could see that was roughly right about here on the charts, the price took off pretty strong. Again, it broke through a key level resistance. That's mainly the reason why. We actually took profits on that trade previously. If you watched my video recently, you'll know that. But the bottom line here is that with it retracing the way that it did, coming down to bounce out that support level, there's a strong chance we're going to see another continuation / breakout to retest this level here at about 10,300. It's a round number, but once again, still something to note. All right. Keep in mind too, on my Twitter and my Telegram, I have those links down below if you're not part of that. I've sent out playout charts consistently. Every time I review a coin, I give you kind of a summarization of what's going on. I'll have that here soon, but the bottom line here is that a continuation makes a lot more sense. But if you recognize this here, this most recent high is providing itself as somewhat of a resistance level. Okay, so again, it's common for that to occur initially. So if we kind of draw a trend line out, we can see that level is holding strong so far. We can break above that. It'll be another situation where the price action comes up, likely to retest that level and continue higher. Okay. Now we can take a quick look and see if there's any fair value gap. There is a buy side liquidity here as well. Both gaps have been filled, so there's a chance we could see a retracement. Previous gaps were looking good, and if we take a look at liquidity, obviously there's a ton above, a little bit below. So it would make a lot more sense for the price to continue to gravitate upwards than down. We have a lot of converging signs, if you will, where the price action should continue. I want to pay attention to the 4-hour time frame and see what happens with this convergence, and then also obviously identify if we can get that liquidity filled here soon. It would make sense that we do, but we do have to break through this tentative resistance level here at about 9,400. A closure today above 9,400 is basically what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at the 1 day really quick, 1 hour, and see if there's any other indications here. We take a look at TD sequential. We're about 6 hours into this continuation, but if you can see here, Shiba Inu has a tendency of breaking free from the ranges, right? So it'll hit 9s consistently and can keep going. So bear in mind, we're at a 6 right now. It doesn't mean it's just going to turn around because we hit a 9. It just implies that we have this nice continuation pattern, which happens to look like a nice little bullish pennant pattern. Okay, and those are typically something that will break to the upside. Okay, so again, more likely than not, we'll see the price continue here moving forward. I like what I see from Shiba Inu. I may consider another swing trade here soon. That being said, though, 1 hour looks fairly strong. If we take a look at the Ichimoku cloud, we still don't have full-on confirmation here, and this is something you want to kind of wait for. So here's a cool thing. If we close today above this level, we'll be naturally above the cloud within reason. We'll also have the lagging span being free and clear of price action. That would give us confirmation that the conversion line being above the baseline enforces that triple benefit of the cloud. In other words, we're getting really close to confirming factors here for Shiba Inu. You could wait for a pullback. There's no guarantees that the price will pull back from here. What you do need to recognize is if Bitcoin pulls back, Shiba Inu very well could as well. Okay, just because it's an altcoin doesn't mean it's separate from it. If you look at Shiba Inu and you look at Bitcoin behavior, they're fairly different, right? But it's still something to recognize and note that it's one of those situations where the price action is fairly reliant on it as far as pumps are concerned. Okay, so what's cool about this is if Bitcoin can maintain its price action where it's at right now, then we'll have a strong likelihood of Shiba Inu blasting off. Okay, so again, just quick look here. If Bitcoin were to pull back any further, we might see a correction from Shiba Inu. But again, 29,500 was a previous resistance level for Bitcoin on the daily. And if we close above this level here, we're going to be in pretty darn good shape. So again, we're looking for a closure above 29.5 for Bitcoin. If we do close above that level, I think we're going to see a strong likelihood of a breakout to the upside here for Shiba Inu. Again, nice healthy continuation. There's nothing abnormal about this. This looks very good. Just keep in mind we're a little premature and early here considering Bitcoin just pumped roughly an hour or two ago. And that could factor in here if Bitcoin does retrace. Please recognize that. All right, so that's pretty much all we have for today. Not too much crazy. I think likelihood of further continuation to the upside makes a lot more sense. I will post my potential playout chart on my Twitter here soon, as well as our Telegram as well, just so you can kind of stay abreast. I know I have both different features for a lot of different folks. That being said, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you learned something today. If you could, comment below, let me know, like, subscribe, and follow, help that wonderful algorithm so some of my videos can be put on the map. It's really awesome to be able to see that kind of support. And thanks again to everyone who provides that awesome, wonderful feedback. And to all my haters out there, which there's not very many, you know who you are though. There's that one person that always likes to watch my videos. Just want to say thank you too. You're obviously my biggest fan. I greatly appreciate that. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on the next video. Take good care.